What's the difference between sales and marketing, and do they even need to talk to each other? Hey, what is up, guys? It is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur, and we are going to be covering sales and marketing, what's the differences, why they might even need to talk to each other, and ultimately, where do you fall in between sales and marketing? And really, where should you focus your time and attention on? Well, a lot of people confuse, well, that's marketing's job, or that's sales' job, or whose job is it? Is it marketing, or is it sales, or is it both? I think a lot of people really confuse the issue between marketing and sales. Marketing and sales probably need to pick up the phone, make some phone calls to each other, and sit down on a regular basis to discuss what kind of marketing materials are needed and ultimately what's going to be the future of our new incoming leads, because that's really, really important for salespeople. Salespeople, their job is to be assassins on the phone, closing deals left and right. But they can't close deals, and yes, they could prospect, but they want to have a nice influx of leads on a regular basis. So where's the middle ground? Ultimately, you want the best salespeople and you want the best marketers to be sitting down and having a conversation. When there's no talking between sales and marketing, there's a lot of friction in the company. Far more than I ever believed until I started really doing a lot of consulting for businesses, helping their marketing team, helping their sales team. I am Sandler sales trained. I almost got my certification. I did leave the company that was paying for it, so I couldn't afford it after I left. But that's kind of where I came from, the sales world. And then I started a marketing company. So for me, it was very strange because I didn't have many leads and I really wanted them, but I was really good at closing whatever I did get. So the problem was we weren't talking to marketing and marketing wasn't talking to us. Realistically, most companies need to have a happy marriage between the two, where marketing is producing new content, giveaways, battle cards, creating just stuff, really. I mean, it could be promo materials, the list goes on, but they should just be creating and creating and creating, ultimately attracting those new potential customers. Now, once that person goes through that journey, right, and salespeople should be having a customer journey where they're going to enter in from, where they're going to get, what emails they're going to get, what promotions they're going to get. Everything should be calculated. But ultimately, when that person goes through this journey and says, hey, I want to buy, or I'm interested, or I'm thinking about your product, that's the moment when it goes over to sales, and sales can then pick up that football and run it down the field, ultimately, hopefully getting a touchdown. We're using Super Bowl and football type terms because Super Bowl's around the corner. But these are really, really important because you need to have that person have a positive experience from the first time they see your company and figuring out where they enter. The more marketing material that you can have, the better and higher likelihood you are to have that person turn into a customer. And it's not just like, well, I have the best pamphlets or I have the best email chains, but you have to remember too, you want to attract as many people, many of your potential customers or ideal customers into your business to then pass over to sales. And this is where a lot of companies go wrong. The marketers just think they have this idea of what the customer is, but the salespeople are usually like, this isn't our ideal customer, or why would this person ask us this? We've never been asked this before, because the marketer isn't communicating with them and they're just going after targeted keywords. They're creating content that probably isn't that relevant to the business. There's all of these different areas that marketing can go awry, but there's also all these areas that sales could go awry because if somebody comes in, they're like, well, I got all this material, and because the salesperson didn't talk to, or the marketer didn't talk to the salesperson, this becomes an issue, right? They don't have this level of expectations. They don't quite understand the product. There's so many areas that could go wrong. There's so many thought processes that could just go awry. But if marketing really dials in their material and brings it over to a quality salesperson, it should be a nice, easy stream of new incoming customers and ultimately sales coming out of it, right? So there is this fine balance. But if you don't have this, or if you're a one-person show or a small company, it is really hard to have a nice symphony of marketing and sales where you're attracting those customers. If you're a smaller company, chances are pretty good you actually want to focus more on marketing than you do on sales. I learned this the hard way. When I first started my business, I was like, I need sales, I need more customers, I need this. I was so wrong. I really needed to focus on marketing because marketing is like a snowball. eventually it gets to a point where it starts to bring in leads regularly and sales become really, really easy. So if had I focused more on marketing for the first 2 to 3 years of my business as opposed to the last year or so, it would be much, much easier to have way more sales now. I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive because you need to have that company going, but you really just need to be able to sustain that customer and enough money coming in that you could focus more on marketing. Now, take this with a grain of salt. I am a marketer. However, marketing is the lifeblood of companies, right? You see companies like Apple, Burger King, McDonald's. I mean, all of these major companies spending huge amounts of money on marketing, right? The product is great. It's gonna sell itself if it's a really, really good product. But if it's not, there's going to be some kind of separation between sales and marketing. You have to make sure that there's a happy marriage between the two. But when you're first starting out, you definitely want to be focusing more on getting and acquiring new potential customers. Let's just say, and I'm a big numbers person, you convert typically on a website at a 1% rate. Maybe if they're calling in or they want to speak to a salesperson, maybe you're converting at a 20% rate, right? Maybe you get 5 people interested every single month. That's 1 new customer every single month. That still leaves 4 people. But what if you doubled the amount of people that were coming in, or tripled, or quadrupled it to 20? That's huge. That's 4 new customers that are coming in every single month. Where even if you have the best salesperson, right, they might only have the top of a 20%, maybe 30%, right? Maybe it's 50%. Even still, 50% of 5 is only going to be 2.5 customers. So some months they're going to get 2, some months they're going to get 3. But if you doubled the amount of people coming in, now you're starting to talk about serious sales numbers that can help sustain and grow a business. This is why sales and marketing need to have a congruency between the two, because salespeople can use marketing material to help sell and upsell products, where marketing people need to understand the philosophy and the thought process that not only customers are going through, but the salespeople are going through. And when there is this harmony between the two and this communication between the two, this is where magic happens, because it's a seamless customer experience. Now, if you want to look at a company that does this freakishly well, go check out HubSpot. I am a HubSpot partner, not selling you anything, but they do it so well. The content is so well constructed. The material that they send you is flawless, right? And then if you actually are interested in buying HubSpot, you can call them up. Their sales process is perfect. Now, this also goes for companies like Salesforce. There's a couple companies out there that just have it so dialed in that it's amazing. Their marketing and their sales just work together, and there's communication between. You can see that there's communication between them because sales isn't mentioning something that marketing hasn't already brought up, and marketing isn't sending them something that makes no sense for that customer. So you have to keep in mind when you're going through your sales and your marketing that there is some conversation. They need to work as a team. They are 2 totally different departments, but they need to sit down on a weekly or bi-weekly meeting and talk about what's going on with customers, what a customer is saying, what is happening in marketing, what are the future forecasts of incoming leads. And you should be able to predict all this, especially as your company grows to the $1 million, $2 million, $5 million mark. This should be really ironing itself out. Salespeople are good, don't get me wrong, and I love salespeople. But even the best salespeople might convert at 20, 30, 40%. So that means you need to feed them more so they can keep closing more. A happy salesperson is a closing salesperson. They're making money. So you have to keep feeding them in order to keep them around. And the way you feed them is bring them leads through marketing. So make sure whatever business you're in, you're focusing heavily on getting and acquiring new prospects, right? Salespeople, it's not easy to find a good salesperson. This is not a sales channel, but when you find a good salesperson, they are worth their weight in gold. But you have to make sure that they have a steady influx of new leads regularly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you did. Hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next one.